Hello and welcome to the Springwood Primary School online safety training. I am Scott Jepson. I am the computing ICT lead on the Swinton site, and I'm going to be doing a short video to help with parental awareness of how best we can keep our children, parents and families safe online. Now, the original idea was to have a meeting where all the parents could come into school and we could go through this little bit of training. However, given the current circumstances, that's not been possible. So we felt that the best way would be to put together a short video. And if it works out well, we can do more and more addressing some of the needs and concerns of our parents at home. So the aims of this training are to increase the awareness of dangers online. So these dangers may well be dangers to our children, dangers to ourselves, dangers to the parents and the families. And we're going to kind of look all around any aspects of dangers that anybody might encounter online. And we're going to improve our confidence when using online programs. So a lot of people are hesitant to use things online. However, the benefits of using online programs, apps, things that are on the internet far outweighs the dangers. It's just important that we're aware and we're confident in what we're doing online and we're confident in what our children are accessing online. Okay, and finally, I'm hoping that I can provide you with strategies that will support the adults and the families and the children when they are accessing content online, and that what they are doing is as safe as we can possibly make it. So throughout the training, we'll be looking at these three targets and we'll see how best we can address them. So to start off with, we're going to look at who's at risk and start with our children. So what is the risk to our children? Right, well, the number one risk to our children, I feel is advertisements. I have two children at home and they are constantly bombarded by advertisements, whether it's on the TV, whether it's online, whether it's walking down the street. There's advertisements on the sides of buses, they're everywhere. And I'm sure you all are aware of the impact that advertisements can have on ourselves, not only children. So online, you will see lots of advertisements on YouTube, pop-ups for Google. When you're on a website, advertisements are everywhere and they are targeted towards you and your online profile. So we try in school and hopefully at home in the future to minimize the amount of advertisements that our children are shown. So by doing this, we use something called YouTube Kids. This reduces dramatically the number of advertisements our children are exposed to when they're using YouTube. And we'll look at that a little bit later. We use a search engine called Swiggle, which is very similar to Google. It's just a lot more children friendly. And then another thing that we do is when we are using apps on a device, we always look for the paid option, which gives more security. It reduces the amount of advertisements. And again, we'll go over that later on. Okay, the second thing we're looking at is unsecured content or unsecured content. So things that are inappropriate for children. You'll all know that once you go through the internet, you've got lots of things that are easily accessed by children, by adults. You click on them, they take you to something that's not really appropriate for our children. So in school, we make sure that our children have logins and they're accessing what they should be accessing. We make sure that the children are aware who they can go to and ask for support to make sure that they're safe, or if they've found some content that they shouldn't have. Hopefully this doesn't happen, because in school we have everything filtered, and at home as well you're able to filter your own internet to make sure that this kind of content doesn't appear. And again, we'll look at that later on. So, okay, and then the final thing for our children is that inappropriate content, such as games that aren't age appropriate, whether it's something that's accessed by multiple children or adults, social media, which opens up to any kind of bullying, targeting, cyberbullying. So we need to be aware of what our children are accessing, make sure that we're constantly monitoring what they're doing, and looking at the kind of access that we're allowing the children and ourselves to have. We need to think about what kind of things we are accessing in front of the children, because the children are constantly looking over your shoulder, seeing what you're doing. So whether you're on social media, thinking about who's around you when you're doing that. Okay. And in school, we always have our Keeping Safe online day. We have our ICT computing weeks, and we share stories with our children, and making sure that we're always making the right choices, keeping our healthy tech habits for children, and keeping our children safe online. So the first thing we looked at was advertisements. So here's some examples of advertisements. So this is a website called Top Marks. And as you can see down here, you've got an advertisement for Dell computers. This advertisement changes frequently to things that are appropriate, things that aren't appropriate, when really all we want our child to be doing is playing this learning game here, constantly bombarded by pop-ups, here at the bottom, pop-ups at the top. Okay, these are the things that we need to try and be aware of, make sure that they are appropriate, make sure that we try and do things where there's less advertisements that are taking the attention away from the children and moving away from the learning activity. Okay, the second one up here is just a screenshot of YouTube. Yeah, you've got 8 videos to make a choice of. That's great. But you've also got 1, 2, 3 advertisements at the top here, Christmas related, advertising Apple, advertising different things, which are probably going to be far more entertaining for the children to be watching than the learning video that is being accessed down here. Okay, and then just a final example here is before you watch any video on YouTube, you're more than likely going to get an advertisement. This is advertising Disney Junior. Again, it's not always going to be something that's appropriate. It may be something that the child shouldn't really be watching. But again, it's not what you've gone onto the internet to do. And again, you need to be careful with what you're exposing the children to and yourselves. Okay, so to get around these kind of issues, we use websites such as YouTube Kids. So it's much more child friendly, it's much easier for the children to access. On devices, it can be downloaded as an app, it can be accessed through the internet, through any internet browser. There's no advertisements on the sides, and there's very little advertisements throughout, and if there are any advertisements, they're always tailored and appropriate to children. So if you do have a child that likes to watch YouTube, that's great. Let's just make sure we're tailoring that content to support their learning and to keep them safe. We don't need them exposed to advertisements that are appropriate or inappropriate. They're not what we're here to do. It's not what we're using YouTube for. So we need to be accessing the right things on YouTube. Okay, so how can we avoid adverts? We need to make sure we're also looking at buying into programs and apps that have reduced advertisements or no advertisements at all. So in school, we use Purple Mash, Too Simple. We have Espresso, which is open to parents as well. So if you don't currently have a login for Espresso, you need to contact your class teacher, and they can make sure that you're set up and able to use this at home. Again, it has no advertisements, so this is safe for our children to access. Choose It Maker can also be opened up to home. Board Maker, again, we can have activities that are sent home and can be accessed at home. Sorry, that's not Board Maker, that's Proloco to Go. So Proloco to Go, I know a lot of children use this program at home to support the communication needs of our children. So any children that are using symbols, this app is particularly expensive, and if it is something that you think your child would benefit from, you need to go through the speech and language team and have a meeting with them to see how best to use this particular app. But again, it supports our children's communication needs with no advertisements, no distractions, and a really clear focus for our children's learning. In school, we have an e-aware program which helps support the learning of our children and keeping them safe online, providing them with strategies to support the use of computers, iPads, devices, just to keep them safe. Help Kids Learn, again, can be opened up to parents. Activities can be sent home and logins so that our children can access the resources at home. Clicker 7, I think it's due to be updated and can be sent home to support children with the communication needs as well. And Board Maker we use to support our children and their communication needs. So lots of these can be accessed at home. And if you have any questions about them, I'll leave the comments open on the bottom of the video, so you can ask any questions on there, or please contact your class teacher who will make arrangements for you to be able to access them. Okay, so the next set of who is at risk is for the parents and families. So the first thing we need to look at is the social media aspect. Everybody's using social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all different types of social media, Snapchat. We need to be thinking about what personal information we are sharing about ourselves, what information we're sharing about our families and our children. Would you freely be sharing that information with everybody and anybody on the internet? So you need to think about what information you're putting on there. Also, you need to be thinking about how that impacts your online profile. Everything we do online is shared with the cloud, and the information is harvested by the big companies, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, everything you do online to create an online profile for yourself, which then tracks what you're doing and makes you easily more targetable for advertising, which will then pop up on when your children are accessing any of the information using the internet. So it's just really an awareness of what you are exposing the online social media to and what information you are giving them. Okay, again, you need to be aware of inappropriate content, harmful content, and how we can stop this kind of access, how we can limit it, and how we can be in control of it ourselves. So I'm going to have a look at how you can use the parental controls and where you can find more information about that. Okay, and if you need some help, where you can go. Yes, I'm making this video. I'm trying to increase awareness of things that are inappropriate, things that could be harmful to our parents, families, and children. But you need to be able to find who you can contact, where you can go for more support. So again, we'll look at that website down here, internetmatters.org, and how you can set up these filters. Okay, so this is the Internet Matters website. Okay, this is one place you can go to support or to find support on what you are looking for. So if I switch over to here, this is the Internet Matters resources. So you can see on here, there's lots and lots of downloadable resources that are tailored to your children. So if you have a child at home who's 0 to 5 or is working at that kind of level, if you click on that, it will take you to a guide which demonstrates, so I have a short video here to support you as well, demonstrates all of the things that can help you with your child, provides you with top tips and additional information that really help you break down what it is you're looking for. So on here, you've got lots of things. It may well be you have a child that's doing something online that you have no awareness of, but this here really nails down what it is you're trying to do online and how you can best get what you're hoping to get from online. So here it's got Instagram, WhatsApp, social media help. So this is a really clear website that helps support you as parents at home. Okay, and then finally, here we have some posters, again taken from the Internet Matters, that I felt were really good for our children. So we need to be aware, number one, what are our children using? What apps on our devices are they using? Are we in control of it? Are we aware of it? What websites are they using? What games consoles are they using? Who are they talking to? Do they know who they can go to for help? Should it be required? Are you aware of what your personal information is and what have you got online about yourself? And the limits, are we putting limits on our children? Are we supporting our children to access things that aren't on devices at home? Over the lockdown period, I understand it's been extremely difficult to get our children motivated and out of the house, but hopefully as things get lifted, we can move to reducing the amount of time our children spend online and enjoying the environment around us. So like I said earlier, I'm going to leave the comments open for you to write underneath on this video. If you've got any questions, please ask. I'm hoping to do some further videos, so if there's any videos that you would like in particular, please just let me know and I will do my best to put a video on to support. As always, school is here to support with any needs. If you've got any questions, just contact school and we will be happy to help. Okay, thanks for your time and thanks for watching. Please share the video if you found it useful. Thanks.